Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Inked Reader. Today I am gonna do a haul. To be fair, it's not gonna be today in the sense that yes, part of it is gonna be filmed today, but I've actually collected a bunch of clips of manga mostly and a few books that I've purchased in the last month that I want to share with you, the last couple of months to be fair. I had filmed a introduction to this video before, however I would take this occasion to say that a couple of things. Sorry for disappearing first of all. As I mentioned in my TBRs and wrap-ups, my grandparents were visiting, so I've been extremely busy with them and I didn't do pretty much anything apart from spending time with them in the last 2 weeks. And also I had a very busy schedule at work, so I just didn't have the time to sit down and film and so forth. And the second thing is that for a series of events I've actually lost access to my emails, my business email that you usually found at the bottom of my videos, which means that I need to create a new email that I can share just for business purposes. But also I have to apologize to a couple of authors that sent me very kindly their ebooks that they're written via email, and I was reading one of them. I was halfway through, but unfortunately by losing the access to my email and everything that was on my phone was erased, so I was reading them on my phone and they were erased. Therefore I don't have access to those books anymore. So if authors are here listening to this, please send me again your book, because I would like to finish it but I couldn't. Unfortunately I'm very terrible with names, so I can't tell you the name of the two authors that gave me their books, and I was trying to read them with my phone. But yeah, basically my phone was erased because it was broken and I don't have access to my email anymore. I will create a new email though and link it down below, but it's gonna take me a while to figure out how I want to go about that and create a new email and so forth. I mean, it takes 2 minutes, I know, but I want to decide a couple of things before I do that. And the very last thing is that this is mainly manga, because I've been on a binge of just purchasing manga. However, there are a couple of books, so I'm gonna start with the books and then I'm gonna go into the manga. However, because the clips are a bit mixed, you will see some other few books popping here and there among all the manga. So first of all, I went to a charity shop and I bought South of the Board. Is another Murakami. I've read by him Norwegian Wood, and it was kind of 3 stars for me, but I definitely want to try more, and this was so tiny for 50p. And I believe this is about these 2 childhood friends. They grew up in post-war Japan and they're just built that bond that was unfortunately interrupted when one of them moved away. Now the boy is in his 30s, he's got his own business, he's running his own business, he's got his wife, his kids, until one day his childhood best friend come back in his life, and she's she's very attractive, she's very mysterious, and she's gonna threaten everything he's built so far. So I don't know, I've never heard of this before, but I saw it and I wanted to give it a try. Then the other books, I got them recently in my last trip to Waterstone. First of all, I got Mother for Dinner. This is the Waterstone exclusive edition where you got like pages like these, really cute. So this is described as here, it says that it's extremely funny. It's a bit of a family comedy in a sense, but it's the story of the last cannibal American family in America, and they have this tradition where once someone in the family dies, they have to eat them. And so now you've got these 12 children whose mother has just recently passed away, and they have to all come together and decide if they want to maintain tradition, so eat mum, or not. And I think there are gonna be a lot of family dynamics. I think one of them is vegan, so it's gonna be curious on how they can, well, eat the mother. Will they one day? I think it's a bit, as it says here, is a grotesque family comedy, and I'm actually looking forward to that. And then I got 2 non-fiction. One is The Devil You Know. This is Encounters in Forensic Psychiatry. So as it says from the title, this is a non-fiction about this psychiatrist. She works in prisons, so she's dealing with serial killers, arsonists, stalkers and so forth, and she just recounts her experiences of working with them and I guess of finding redemption for them, which I'm a bit on the fence with. So I'm very curious to hear a story and see. As you might not know, forensic psychology is what it's my degree and master, so I'm very curious with anything that has to do with forensic psychology, and we will see. We'll see what she says. And then I've got The Light Ages, the last non-fiction I picked up, and this is a medieval journey of discovery. So basically this book explains a lot of what has been discovered and in medieval time, and I hope it's gonna give me a lot of background history on how medieval societies worked. I have this kind of passion for history, and I don't know, I mean, I've studied medieval time when I was in school, but it's been ages now since I revisit them, and I thought this sounded like right up my alley in that sense, and yeah, hopefully I can learn a lot. And finally, the last book I've got to show you in this specific clip, I went to Forbidden Planet because of manga. It's a big, like, nerdy store. They had a section with fantasy books, and there were some clearance they were doing. So literally they were selling books for 90p. The majority of them I didn't know, so I didn't pick up. But I have the first book of these, which is Anno Dracula. This in specific is book number 5, which is 1000 Monsters. I have Anno Dracula, it's in my shelves, and I think it's on my fantasy TBR, it might be. So I want to read that one, but I don't have book 2, 3 and 4, but for 90p I'll take this, you know, it's less than £1. So I decided to go ahead and purchase it, and worst case scenario I can always resell this because it's a new book, it's not a used book. So I'm gonna show you the rest of what I found at Forbidden Planet. Must be said that I have recently done some content on manga, and a lot of you guys shared your recommendations, and when I went to Forbidden Planet I decided to look for some of those recommendations. Some of them I went online. What basically I am saying is that I am listening to you guys. Some of them I just couldn't find the first volume, unfortunately not there, so I'm listening. Even if your recommendation is not here, it's not gonna be in this or it might be in another one, I am on the lookout for them. But based on recommendations of you guys and some of my friends, I picked up, first of all, Demon Slayer, volume number 1. I know that the anime is very popular on Netflix, but as always, anime are slowly to be released. I found like this volume was the last one left. And all I know about this is that about this boy, he loses his family when a demon attacks and kills them. And his sister is actually transformed into a demon. So now he's trying to revenge his family and I guess save his sister. All I know is that, again, hopefully I love this because it's such a popular anime. I feel very guilty if I don't touch some of the art without ruining the pages. So yeah, I decided to read the manga before I attempt the anime. Another one of your recommendations, it was Toradoro, I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, another one, there is an anime on Netflix, but when I asked you guys, you told me that actually the manga is better and the anime doesn't follow all of it. So I'm gonna try and show you some of the art, but it's all very, okay, maybe this one is okay. That was spoiling. So I picked up volume number 1. In this world, basically, mages, evil sorcerers, whether I can't pronounce that thing, they transform, they're basically meddling with magic and transforming people in like half human, half monsters. And you follow this guy who's part lizard, I believe, and I guess he wants his revenge on these bad mages. He wants to kill them. I think this is, as I say here, it's explicit content, so it's full of violence and adult content, so yes, right up my alley. Because on Forbidden Planet they often do like you buy 3 volumes and you pay 2. I saw these and I was like, yes, it's time for me to start this series. And then I have got first volume of Jujutsu Kaisen. This has been all over BookTube and I just wanted to start. I know it's a very lengthy series, but I'm okay with that. I'll take my time. And again, this is another one the anime has received very positive feedback from, but again, there was a 3, 1, 2, and I said, you know what? I opened up, loved the art, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. And I go into all of this pretty blind, and I just know that in this world, basically, if you consume parts of this demon body, you might get extremely powerful to a point that you might destroy the world. So they're trying to protect people from actually accessing the parts of this demon. And then there is a school who are tasked to protect the humans from the supernatural. Listen, I'm butchering this, I'm aware of this. I'll read these and give you a better synopsis once I've read this. Because I don't know, I'm just picking them up because of you know, recommendations. I heard good things, so it's okay for me to go in a bit blind. And finally, the last recommendation volume that I could find at Forbidden Planet was Slime. I heard that this is a very feel-good manga. And all I know about this 37 years old man who's just, you know, office worker. One day he saves the life of his co-worker, but he ends up dying, and he wakes up in this fantasy world reincarnated as this magic wielding slime creature, and he now has to survive in this magic world, in this fantasy world. And it sounds amazing, like the premise. I loved it. Some of you guys recommended these, and then when I was there I saw the volume and I read the synopsis. I was like, this is hilarious, I want to hear more. And so I'm going to show you some of the art. Can I show you this? And it just sounded amazing, so I had to pick it up. Okay? I had to. And finally, the last volume got in this clip before we move to another one is a volume that I've looked up for probably last 2 years, and it was sold out everywhere. And I discovered this manga when I was doing the challenge of reading the most bizarre manga ever written. And I purchased the first omnibus, loved it so much, and then could never get my hands on the second omnibus. But finally, from Amazon, and I think through Book Depository, I found my love, the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service. Omnibus number 2, I found it. This contains volume 4, 5 and 6. This is a very hard series to get hold of. I believe in Japan is published, like they have published more volumes than the ones that are available in English. However, I think Dark Horse has picked them up, and hopefully they will publish them all. So the 5th omnibus has just been released. It still has to get, I pre-order it, but it's still not arrived, unfortunately, so I need to look up the app, by the way, now that I think about this. But the premise of this is that you follow this bunch of guys that are university and trying to get a bit of extra money to support themselves, and they all come together and form this kind of delivery service where they deal with corpses, as it says from the title. Basically, all of them have some kind of paranormal power that has to deal with dead bodies, and so their job in a nutshell would be find corpses and reunite them with their loved ones or give them closure and so forth. But of course it's not as easy as it sounds. Like it doesn't really sound easy, but anyway, it gets more complex. And I thought, I love the themes that the first omnibus delved into. I thought that was so original as a concept, and the idea behind death and redemption and revenge and the things that came up with, I was in awe. I also really love the art, of course, but it's just the concept. What intrigued me the most was definitely the plot. I thought this was so unique. So I'm so happy I've got volume 2 in my hands. I'm gonna then switch on for today. But yeah, I'm gonna insert here the new clip. Went to Waterstone and I picked up a couple of books. The first one is SPQR. This is a history of ancient Rome. As of now, I feel like the books, I miss reading non-fiction. I think last year I read not a lot, and I really like the genre. And this year, because I'm reading from my shelves, and these shelves, my non-fiction shelf is not here, it's downstairs. Basically, I'm not reading non-fiction much at all. And I also have a passion for history, and I've not read a historical book in ages. So this is basically a 1,000-year history of Rome. It's an international bestseller, so it must be good, and I'm very curious to read it. So hopefully I will pick up this sooner or later. I might just integrate it, or if I'm in a mood to just pick it up. And the same vibe, I'm very interested in mythology in general, so I never saw any book before about Celtic myths and legends. To be fair, I never looked up for them, but I was in Waterstone and I was in the historical section and I saw these and was like, yes, I want to know more about the myths and how ancient worlds worked and their mythology and the religion and practices. So I picked these up. And the last couple of books that are not in boxes, I've got sequels. So this is Deceptions, and again bought this used on Amazon. This is a series by Kelly Armstrong. This is book number 3, and it's kind of a paranormal series. In the first one, you've got this girl, she finds out that she's adopted, and then she is actually the daughter of 2 serial killers, and she decides to go back to her hometown where her parents were born and the crimes happened, just to understand the history of that. And when she goes there, things are a bit weird. I think it is a very light paranormal. It means that a lot of things so far are hinted at, and there are no clear creatures and so forth. It's a bit of like a myth that's played out, but it's very much contemporary at the same time, and there is an element of romance. But so far I have been liking it, but I don't need the pretty covers or whatever, because I just want to read the series, and then if I like it till the end, I'm gonna keep it. If not, I'm gonna donate it. And then the other one I picked up was Seven for a Secret. This is, I believe, a trilogy of, you follow the same protagonist solving crimes, and what I loved about these was the writing. I think it's a historical fiction crime novel. The first book is called The Gods of Gotham, which I read just a couple of months ago, and I absolutely fell in love with the writing. I think it's been probably one of the best writing of the whole year, and it just stuck with me. Just wanted to keep experiencing it. Writing these, you follow Timothy. Timothy is one of the first police officers that was ever in New York City. So when the New York City police force is put into place in the 1845, he is one of the first police officers having to deal with crimes, but also with that people are not very much used to having police around. So, and in this, I think he has to basically find this guy who kidnaps whole families and put them into slavery. Unique writing that I've never experienced before, so I want to keep going with the series. Unfortunately, the covers are very shitty. And then I had, in terms of books, before I passed on, this just arrived. This is again another sequel, so I think it's worth putting there. Oh yes, the covers are right. So I bought the sequel to And I Darken, and I spoke about this series, the first book, And I Darken, in my wrap-up in June. But I really enjoyed that book and I want to continue on, and I wanted these covers because I don't like the other ones that are out. So I got Now I Rise and Bride We Burn, and I think it's so cool that now I've got all matching covers with our protagonist's face on it. It was sold to me as a revisitation of like having a Vlad Tepes as a woman instead of, you know, him. In reality, the protagonist, she is the daughter of him, and she's sold with her brother, with a very delicate flower. It's completely different than her. She's very savage. She is kind of given to the Ottomans as a pawn in this kind of political game, so she's raised there, kind of used as a hostage, and then the story starts from there. And I love the first book, and I'm gonna go into all the details in my wrap-up. So I want to continue on, find these covers, and yes. So okay, and for this clip I'm gonna touch upon the manga that I've got. Again, a shoujo fantasy manga, and this is Kiss of the Rose Princess volume 2, and again I'm gonna show you the art. And the premise of this, you got this girl, she is given a choker by her father and told him to never take it off. And for a series of events, of course, the choker comes off, and all of a sudden she finds herself in the possession of these 4 cards. Then when she kisses the cards, 4 knights appears to support her. But the funny thing is that these 4 guys, a couple of them she already knows, and they were like in her high school, and with some she had like she hated them, with some they were like a very popular guy in school, and all of a sudden they are her knights, and then there are a couple of more. So it's a kind of an inverted harem situation, which I really like in manga. So sounds like my cup of tea, and I want to continue on. It doesn't take any brain power, that series, but. And then the last one I've got for this clip, so then Future Eva, we're gonna see Future Eva in a second, but the last one I got for this clip is one that has to be given a bit of a history, because when I was a child, I was obsessed with the anime, and then at the time I didn't read any manga, and then a few months ago I was reading Berserk, and I was told, you know, that Griffith, one of the protagonists of Berserk, you know, the inspiration came from this manga. And then now that I think about it, it can actually makes a lot of sense. It's true. So I remembered about the anime that I used to follow, and I went online and I saw that actually they are selling the manga, and the manga is a 5-book series with awesome packaging. Like the cover are so good, it looks so good. So I saw a collection of it. I was like, how come I don't have the manga of one of the best anime series that marked my childhood, changed my childhood? how come I don't have it? So I needed to have it. It's just they're so expensive, but anyway, they're worth it. And I need to read the manga again and then maybe watch the anime. But this is the Rose of Versailles. And can we appreciate? And I have to say that probably the first volume is the one that I like the least in terms of aesthetic, and it's already stunning. It's already a 10 out of 10. And I am so in love with these. And these are, the pages are like glossy. Some of the pages are glossy. No, actually all the pages are glossy. Some of the pages are fully colored. Oops, sorry. And this is basically a historical manga. And basically this is the story of this girl. She is raised as a boy because her father always wanted a boy. So she's raised as a boy. Her name is Oscar, and she becomes the captain of the palace guards at the court of King Louis XV. In France, and she's basically there when the French Revolution hits. So the anime was absolutely heartbreaking, and I when I saw how this looks like, I was like, how come the very dark anime that I remember is then portrayed in such like a happy looking manga? So I'm gonna read it. I want to see if it's accurate, if it looks like the same, but maybe watch the anime after. I am so in love with this, and again I'm gonna collect them. It's just 5 volumes, so it's not too much, but they're very expensive. So these two just arrived, and I just wanted to show it to you guys. I've been loving these editions. I can never remember their name, but it's The Art of War, and they all have golden pages. And I really love that the pages are like plastic pages, and I don't have to be afraid of actually ruining them. I just love aesthetics of this. And then we've got Sense and Sensibility. I'm hopefully gonna collect more, but those are the ones that were almost out of stock, so I wanted to purchase them. Let's look at the details. Pages, and again plastified, like they're plastic pages in a sense. I don't know how you call them, but yeah, so happy about these two classics. Okay, another day here. I have few packages that have arrived, just a few, and some more on their way. So this is just a clip. So first of all, I have Chainsaw Man, volume number 2. I got these from actually Forbidden Planet in London. Then I ordered a couple of more online, so they should be in here somewhere. We're gonna find them. But yeah, Chainsaw, it's been a series that I started in June, and I love it. So this is the story of this young man. He is abandoned as a child, so he's been living on his own. He's very uneducated, very feral in a sense, and his only companion is this demon dog. And one day something tragic happens, and this boy acquires some supernatural powers, and in this world there are demons, and he basically have to fight them. And it's a very peculiar series, and so far I've been absolutely loving it. The first volume, it's like, it feels like very something like I've never read in a genre that I've read before. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but it's a new take of a genre that I generally love. It's very violent and brutal, but this protagonist it's unique, so I'm very curious to know how the story develops. So I got volume 2, and let me see if I can. This might be volume. This might be the next volume. I got one more. Let me see. So I got volume 3 as well. Loving these. So yeah, continue on with the series. It's an ongoing series, and an anime adaptation is coming out. Then I've got what I think is actually a book that I've pre-ordered. This is a psychology book I was interested for in general, for psychology and my job. It Didn't Start With You, how inherited family trauma shapes who we are and how to end the cycle. So this is all about trauma and how it's actually passed down to generations. And I'm very curious to know what kind of studies they've made and what kind of conclusions they've reached. And also I'm very curious about their part about ending the cycle of trauma. And then finally the package for today. Why? That's so much seller tape in one box. I'm gonna try.
A few moments later.
And open this. I don't want to destroy it. Okay, this requires for some hard. If I ruin the book, I'm gonna be so mad. Sorry, I need to do it. Okay, there is the slip of paper. There's this thing of paper, but they put sellotape on it, so you can't use it. Why?
Eventually.
This is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. So I've caved in and I have been seeing these on every Waterstone bookshop I've been to, and I love the cover so much. And then I was reading like a list of, you know, all-time favorite anime, manga, and this keeps popping up. So I want to read it. Oh, this is in color. Like you got a lot of color pages. And then you got like normal black and white pages. Really looking forward to actually starting these. This is what I gather. There is not even a synopsis, so I suppose you know what it is, but actually I'm not so sure. It's kind of a western, action western, where you follow different characters and you got different like sub sagas. Like this is Phantom Blood part 1, and then I don't know, I think I'm gonna try and research so that I can read them in order of like chronologically. But yeah, I'm actually very much looking forward to reading these. It's exciting. I love this. Like, can we appreciate? These are gonna be so cool on my shelves. If I like it, I continue purchasing them. It's the same day because I got the same shirt on, but I've received packages and one is very big and exciting. It's not big because there are many things inside, but because there are big books inside. So I'm gonna open these up first though. I think this might be actually the 4th volume, the last volume I purchased this month for Chainsaw Man. Yes, it is. So yes, this month I purchased volume 2, 3 and 4 of Chainsaw Man. Light, please collaborate. This is what it looks like. I love the art. So yeah, and then I've got this big boy with me. I just opened it quickly because I didn't think it were books. It was books because of how big it was. And I was like, I didn't purchase that many, but we're gonna open it together. There are books inside. I just literally had a sneak peek. We're gonna take this out, this out, and this out. And we got 3 inside, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put this down. So the first one is Summer Rendering, and this is a new series, pretty fairly recent release, I think. I don't know how many volumes are out, and I think it's kind of like a mystery thriller manga that's been a bit popular as of now. And I've seen these in the bookshop and I really enjoy like the art and the style. And basically it's about this girl. She goes back to her hometown to go to the funeral of a childhood friend that passed away. But when she goes there, she finds out that something very creepy is happening in the town. So I think like it's a murder mystery or like thriller. And looking forward to that. It's a very chunky volume, so I really like it. I really like how it looks. Like it feels so good in my hands. Then I've got volume 2. Oh, this looks nice. Nice enough because I kept finding weird, beaten up editions. Rosa Versailles, book number 2. And I love the aesthetic of these. Can we appreciate? They're gonna look so cool on my bookshelves. I love them so much. And so when I found out there was actually like a series that looked so pretty, I had to collect them. I had to. The big boy, why this is so heavy, it's book number 7, Berserk Deluxe Edition. These are stunning editions, so this contains 19 to 21. And I'm gonna try and open it. Scissors, come to my rescue again. These are very expensive. However, not as expensive as sometimes others. Like I was collecting the library editions for Hellboy, and those are even more expensive, so I had to stop for a while. So yeah, this is the 7th one. So far 10 are out, but I think a total of 14 will come out in the end. And I'm just gonna, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it's gonna be hard, so I'm just gonna show you what it looks like inside. I really like that it's a big chunky book, so we've got plenty of space to enjoy the art. And yes, that's it. That's the new book box that came in. Apologies people, I know that this video is made of 1,000 clips, and let me know if it's particularly annoying for you, but I just received a package in the post and one yesterday. However, I opened up the one from yesterday just because I wasn't sure it was a book. It was particularly light, weirdly enough. So yeah, I'm just filming as things come through, and I'm also going outside in the sun, so I put sunscreen on, so I'm particularly even more lucid. My face looks even more lucid than usual. And I'm, yeah, a bit of a mess because again, working day. So yeah, I got a package here, but I also received yesterday in the email, not in the email, in the mail, the Fire and Blood paperback by George R. R. Martin. I am honestly appalled with myself that it took me so long to get this, considering that Game of Thrones is my favorite fantasy series ever. And this is full of actual illustrations. Can we appreciate, like, it's honestly, like, there are so many, and I can't wait to read these. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm just gonna put this on my TBR maybe in August or something, or I'm just gonna be patient and wait until it comes up. But because I want to watch the TV show, I might prioritize this at some point. And again, Game of Thrones is my favorite fantasy series ever. It's one of my favorite books ever. So shame on me for taking so long to read these, because I heard amazing things about these. And in terms of the package, I think I know what it is, but it's weirdly heavy. Yeah, okay, this never works, does it? Anyway. Okay, now, yes, I was right. It's volume 5 of Preacher, the graphic novel. I just need one more to go, and then I will be done with this series. Must be said that actually I need to purchase book number 1, technically, because I read that from the library. So I need to still get my hands on my own copy, because I love Preacher and I want to have the full series. So yeah, Preacher is a graphic novel series, which art I don't particularly love. However, I'm absolutely sold on the plot. This is very blasphemous. This is not for the faint of heart. But this is the story of this guy, Jesse. He's a preacher, but he's a very weird preacher, because after being bestowed upon immense powers for a series of events, he uses those powers to try and find God, and held him responsible for the mess that humanity is. And he does that by bloody killing and so forth. So yeah, it's a very peculiar kind of Preacher, but I've been loving Preacher so much, and I want to finish the series this year for sure. It's just 6 books like this, omnibus in total, which contains 2 volumes, I believe. So I need to finish this, and hopefully maybe one day continue on with the TV show. I had started the first season, never finished it. Okay, new packages came through. One I opened just because, well, I had to make sure that they weren't damaged. So first of all, in that package there was The Flowers of Evil, number 4. This is kind of like the deluxe compendium edition, whatever, and it's a final volume, so it's a bit smaller, because I think it contains only 2 volumes of this series that I have been liking, that I've been following for around a year now, if a bit more. And yeah, it's the conclusion. I'm looking forward to these, and this is basically a contemporary about a teen dealing with crushes, depression and so forth. I've talked about these a lot, so you can find it in my any other video basically. And then I was suggested these by one of you guys, but also one dear friend of mine recommended the anime, so I definitely wanted to try the manga first. And this is Vinland Saga. I found these beautiful editions, and when I saw them I was like, oh okay, no, the manga is happening, I need to read it. Oh, I'll show you the art, sorry, I'll show you the art of the other. I'll probably show you the first page so that it doesn't really spoil anything. And all I know is this is based on, it's a Viking story, and so I'm looking forward to reading these. And then the art of these, I love the art of these. I think the art of these is such magnificent art. Okay, so now we open the two packages I've got, and here they are. Let's start with the small one. Is it for me? Yes. Sometimes they open packages and they are for my neighbor. Ah, okay, yeah, I know what this is. So I had done a TBR for my manga for April, no, for July. And in that TBR for July, there was the Jackie Daisy. And I said, oh, I was a bit annoyed because the edition was a bit different from my edition of the first volume. Turns out that the volume I was holding in my hands was in German or something. I didn't even know what kind of language was. So when I went downstairs to just read it, I opened it up and I couldn't, of course. So Amazon kindly just let me keep that, and I then refunded it, so then I could order the English. And this is English, yeah. I can read through this. This is a contemporary about this girl. She loses her brother, and before he dies he leaves her with a phone number of his best friend, and he says that his best friend is gonna be there for her when he passes away. And so she starts this kind of like relationship via text messages with this boy, and at the same time she's have to help the caretaker of the school because she damaged property of school and she could not repair it. So she's having this kind of, it's not a like love triangle, because this boy and her, they are like at the moment in, like, you know, at the beginning of the story, they just really don't like each other. But I think it's gonna develop into possibly a love triangle. I don't want to give any spoilers. We'll see. I know what happens, but we will see. And then finally I've got this one. I think I mean I know what this is. Oh yes, it worked. I'm very happy about this. So this is volume number 2 of Lore Olympus, and I don't know if I've pre-ordered these or not, but I love the volume number 1 and I want to continue on. But yeah, this is a bit, the cover has some lines on it, but overall it's okay. The spine, it's perfect. So this is the annoying part of buying books online, that you never know about the conditions that they come in, which annoys me, but they are cheaper. Can we appreciate the art? And this is a retelling of basically the gods of Olympus, especially they focus on Hades and Persephone, but all the gods are in here, like not all of them, but the major ones. And I absolutely loved volume number 1 and I want to continue on. It's just the art. The story, it's lovely, but it's mostly like literally enjoying the art style. I think it's such like stunning art style, and it's very fresh for, you know, the other graphic novels I've read. So yeah, looking forward to reading these. Hi guys, I think I'm gonna conclude this haul here. Apologies, I know that there were many clips in it, but I just received 2 books yesterday and 1 another day, and I'm gonna show you those. I did place an order for a couple of more books, but I think I'm just gonna include them in the next haul, especially because this haul was pretty manga heavy. So it's books, it's not manga basically. I am waiting for volume 5 of Chainsaw Man. It's on its way, but I want to wrap this up, edit and put this up. So I've got 2 books and 1 final manga. The final manga though is one that you've already seen in this haul before. I bought also volume 8 of Berserk, so I'm continuing on with my read along. This is still in the wrapping paper. So I'm gonna open this up. So yeah, Berserk volume 8. I got 2 more volumes that are already out, so I think volume 11 is not out yet. And you know it's Berserk, right? You've seen this if you follow my channel. You've seen this before, and probably I'm the last one who became aware of Berserk being a thing. So yeah, I'm continuing my reading along, and the last 2 books I'm going to show you the following. The first one I've got here is Stiletto. This is the sequel to The Rook, which I have read in July, and I know that there is like a matching paperback in terms of dimension, but I preferred this cover. Like the this blue is one of my favorite colors ever. This blue here, and I really loved this cover. So the other one was a bit darker, although it would match my other version of The Rook. However, because I display my books in terms of colors palette, I don't really care if I don't mention in terms of being equal in dimension. So yeah, I've got here, this is massive, this is a continuation, and this is a urban fantasy where you follow basically kind of a secret service, but to protect England from magic threats. So it's like a secret society that it's like secret agents that protect England from magic threats. And I want to continue on. I think just books are out. I don't know if the 3rd book will ever come out, hopefully. And I noticed that this year I tend to buy books that are sequels of books that I read by going through my shelf. So this was definitely the category of being a sequel. Then finally I've got a book that came out as my book club book, and I'm very eager to read these. This is Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. I've read her debut novel and absolutely fell in love with her writing, and I heard that this was a bestseller. This is probably more famous than the debut novel that I read, and I proposed this to my book club, so we're gonna read these by the end of September. And I am not the biggest fan of these in terms of cover, but I can't wait to read these. I am expecting to be broken while reading these. I've heard that it's like as harrowing as A Little Life. We will see, because I've read A Little Life, so I can compare the two. And we will see how I think about these. But I'm very much looking forward to this, and it'll be read in the next couple of months. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna conclude here my haul. Let me know what you purchased in the last 2 months. And I also want to say very quickly that I've seen, by the time I've filming this clip, I've seen that some of you left your manga recommendation in the comments down below. Now, of course, I'm finishing this video, so I just saw them a couple of days ago, but I've jotted down any recommendation that you guys leave, so then I can be on the lookout. So if your recommendation was in this haul, it might be in another one. So thank you so much for leaving your recommendations. Please continue to do so. They have been noticed and appreciated. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Ciao!